Hi all, welcome to Diversified Finance. My name is Lakal. So today this is the midweek Bitcoin and altcoins watch. So before I start, I just want to make sure this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. Uh, Before you invest, please do your due diligence, and because I could be 100% wrong. So Bitcoin had a pretty good week. We had so much bearish news. Month of January, there was a we drop Bitcoin probably drop like 20-30% because of interest rate hikes that they're gonna that they said they're gonna have, like, probably towards 2022. And more than that, there was a war broke out in between Russia and Ukraine. But Bitcoin was holding up, like, 33, 34 level, like, really well. And then once all that gone, like, we've seen like a massive green candle. Last time we've seen like a similar massive candle in February 2021. So things are looking good from Bitcoin side. So let's discuss about all coins, and let's see what we're supposed to do right now. Let me share the Bitcoin chart. Okay, so right now what we're seeing here is looking pretty good. Like, these W patterns are mostly, like, most of the time these W patterns are very bullish, especially when we have, like, a higher low. Like, there's a low and then there's a higher low. It did not break below this low, so this is really bullish. I'm expecting three things to happen, right? First thing is, we are still I must say, like, we are still not out of the woods, right? Bitcoin still could come back up to 200-day moving average and could get rejected and could go back down, right? So technically, this white line, whenever we are below this white line, we are in a bear market. When we are above, we are in a bull market. So given that we are below 200-day moving average, it's pretty obvious, like, we are in a bear market. But still, given that we already made a higher low, and then it looks as if it's going to retest this 200-day moving average, things are looking good. Normally, this white line, it's like a magnet. When the price going up away from this white line, it tends to pull it back down towards this white line, right? So as you can see here, it went up so high, and then it's being like pulled down towards this white line, and then it broke below and went back down again, and then it pulled it back up towards this white line. So this is how it works normally. So now that we are, like, we went way below this white line, it's a good thing. It was trying to retest somewhere over here, and then we've seen like a lot of weakness because it could not even get closer to this white line. But now that we drop back, and then given that we did not break this low, right, we made a higher low. Things are looking really good at the moment. So but scenario number one, uh, I mean, I'm not expecting that this would happen right now. I'm turning, like, a little bit towards bullish side, but I know it's better to discuss all of them, because if it happens, like, no one knows what will happen tomorrow, right? I can't claim to know what will happen tomorrow. If it happens, at least we are prepared. So the first scenario is we could go all the way back up to this 200-day moving average, could get rejected, and we could go back down, right? We've seen this in the past many times. Like, it was trying to get back about this 200-day moving average, and then failed, and then we could probably go into, like, prolonged bear market. It could be like 3 to 6 months, or it could be like a year or so. All right, maybe until 2023 we might not see higher prices. The second scenario is we could break above, let's say it breaks above 200-day moving average, and then come back, and then trying to retest in this area. And this is also not good, like, and then, because even though it gets supported by 200-day moving average, there are um, periods where we've seen in the past it breaks above, like, and then it could be like a bull trap. Everyone gets like so bullish, and then it's trying to stay above this 200-day moving average for some time, and then break down below, and then same, we might go into like a bigger bear market. Those are the first one and the second one. Third one would be it'll break above, right? And then it breaks above and then hold it as support, and then we'll see higher prices, right? Maybe up to 55K, because that's where the Fibonacci 0.618 golden Fibonacci level is. So let's quickly have a look at that one. So if you draw it like that, as you can see, I want to flip this one, hold on. To flip this one, give me a sec. Yeah, so as you can see, 0.618. Normally what happens, it drops and it tends to come back to 0.618 or 0.786. It could come back up to 61.55 to 61,000 level, right? And stay there for some time, get rejected, go back down to retest 200-day moving average, or it could go below and then, you know, it might go into like a mini bear market also. That could happen. Yeah, that's the third one. The fourth one would be, this is the best one, right? Like, you know, this is what I'm hoping that we might see, but we might not. The fourth one would be, we break above this level, right? And retest and then go above, and then probably, right? Most probably, like, you know, I mean, if we are lucky, let's say go above 69,000 up to maybe 75K, even 80K, right? And then everyone will get so bullish, same as what we seen last year, 100K Bitcoin in December, something like that. And then we have, like, you know, bigger correction, like, you know, massive, like, you know, maybe 70-80% correction back down to 200-day move, 200 weekly moving average. It could be somewhere near 25K or something at that time. So these are the 4 scenarios that could happen. So the thing is, we don't want to like expect something to happen, and like, no, depending on that, we don't want to buy and hold currencies and cryptocurrency and wait, because if it's not going to happen, same thing what happened in December, right? Everybody was expecting 100K Bitcoin, and then most people invested like in September, October, November, expecting 100K in December. Did not happen, right? So some people are not prepared for that. So we don't want to get into that kind of situation. So first thing is, even before we get about like 200-day moving average, I want to see Bitcoin break above this 45,000, right? And then consolidate there for some time. So this is what I'm expecting for Bitcoin to happen, right? But I'm just leaning towards the bullish side. Maybe I have a feeling maybe they might push it back about 69,000, right? Or bring Bitcoin price closer to 69,000, or maybe like 70,000 or so. Make everyone like, you know, overly bearish, overly bullish, and then like we'll see a lot of greed, and then we might see a bigger correction. If that happens, it's good. Then, because given that we hold a lot of altcoins could go crazy, like, you know, and we don't want to see we don't have to wait until we see 72,000K for Bitcoin. Even if once Bitcoin is about 200-day moving average, we'll see all coins tend to pump. Let's not forget, like, most of the old like traditional major altcoins, right? They've been in a bear market since May last year, right? So it's time for them to, like, you know, pump like a lot higher, right? So I'm turning towards bullish side. I have a feeling like the Bitcoin will break above 200-day moving average and consolidate above. That's all I want to see, right? I'm not going to worry about 72,000 Bitcoin, because I want to see all coins just go crazy, because we haven't seen, like, you know, some massive all season for some time now. And let's not forget Bitcoin. So now if let's say Bitcoin keeps on pumping, like, you know, about 50,000, closer to 55K or so, all coins could bleed, like, you know, a bit, like, you know, maybe 10-20%, because what happens normally, Bitcoin dominance goes up a lot higher, right? And then that happens, people tend to think, oh, I don't have any Bitcoin, seems like Bitcoin is going higher, so they tend to sell all coins and then they buy Bitcoin, right? So that might people will like, feel like there's fear of missing out for Bitcoin, right? So they sell their old coins and then they come into Bitcoin, they buy Bitcoin. When that happens, all coins tend to go down. And if you been like, say, let's say been buying Bitcoin, that would be like a great opportunity for us to switch Bitcoin to all coins when we see Bitcoin dominance has gone up to like maybe 50-60% or so. Then compared to all coins, like Bitcoin has gone a lot higher, and then there'll be like a great opportunity for us to accumulate big all coins again. Like even if you don't have Bitcoin, if you don't want to convert your Bitcoin to all coins, that could be an opportunity for us to accumulate all coin at that time, just before the all season. So we need to time this properly. Otherwise, because I've seen people like when Bitcoin start pumping, we tend to see like all coins pump a little, and then people tend to sell all coins and then take profit. That's too early, right? So we have to be patient. Like you have to wait for some time and see what Bitcoin does. Once Bitcoin goes above 50,000 for 200 above 200-day moving average, when it consolidate and instead of doing anything for like a week or two, that's when like probably after 2 weeks, that's when you see all coins to go crazy, and that's the time we start taking all coins. Like all coin season might go for like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. You might see coins pump like 10x, 20x likewise. So we need to time that properly. Otherwise, when you sell all coins, you see like you make like 5x or maybe like 2x, and you sell your all coin because you think it's not going to go higher. Then you see all coins keep on pumping. Like we don't want to see that. And anytime when you buy or sell, like especially I've discussed like how to take profit right now, we only gonna DCA sell. We're not gonna completely get out of the market. Even if you want to take profit out of Bitcoin, we'll never gonna sell everything at once, right? Because we never know what will happen, right? So I'm always trying to keep a little bit of like anything what I say, I'll make sure I DCA sell. And also there's another thing I'm going to do as well. When I get a lot of profits from, if I get a lot of profits from, if I get a lot of profits from all coins, I'm going to convert like portion of it like to Bitcoin, and I would like to hold that Bitcoin for long term, right? Because this is important. Like all coins will come and go. Let's not forget metaverse. There are so many metaverse tokens. I've recently seen another new token I'll discuss later. And there are so many metaverse tokens. When metaverse coins pump, all of these metaverse tokens, regardless the market cap, how good it is, bad ones, good ones, everything will pump at the same time. But make sure we need to make sure that we take profits, because it's important. Some of the projects could be like scams, right? That they just two guys get together and then maybe like you can make like a nice website and like an eye-catching website, and who knows, like might not last. So that's why we take profit. Like I'm not gonna, like especially for all coins, I'm not gonna buy any all coin except Bitcoin and Ethereum and expect to hold it for like 3, 4, 5 years. I'm simply there in all coins to take profit, right? And then probably go and buy a car or pay off my mortgage or something, like do whatever I like. And the rest, I'm gonna convert that into like Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Bitcoin and Ethereum I can hold it for long term, right? Long term means like even 4, 5 years, 10 years, I'm gonna hold it. So when I'm gonna wait until Bitcoin pumps, like until the Bitcoin dominance goes higher, and then I'll probably, especially from Bitcoin Bull, right? This is like a token I specifically I bought it. If I don't have, if you don't have enough Bitcoin, right, and Bitcoin pumps, if all coins dump so much, if you have Bitcoin Bull, it could act as if like a all coin, because it pumps a lot higher, like compared to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin pumps 5%, Bitcoin Bull tend to pump like maybe 30%, 40%. You've seen that. I've shared this on the group. So that's why I got Bitcoin Bull. So when Bitcoin dominance has gone up, like just before the all coin season, I'm gonna swap all my Bitcoin Bull, because Bitcoin Bull are just like a coin on exchange, right? I can't hold it for long term. Either I'll buy a little bit of Bitcoin from that, or I'll just put it into all coins, and all coins pumps, I'll take a portion of that, I'll go into Bitcoin or Ethereum, mainly Bitcoin, and hold that Bitcoin for long term, and the rest I'll just take out as profit. So this is what I'm gonna do. Things are looking good. Like even though we are below 200-day moving average, even though we are in a bear market, this candle right here is looking really good. Volume, when you look at the volume, yes, there's not much volume. This is like on Bitstamp. I mean, you check the other exchanges as well. But let's not forget, even Bitcoin went up to like 69,000. We haven't seen much volume here either, right? So it's something, it has become something like some kind of a norm. So I have a feeling like the capitulation probably happened over here, like during the war, right? So when they announced that Russia going to attack Ukraine, that was the capitulation. I think this is the capitulation. So it doesn't mean Bitcoin is going to go to 100K. I'm not expecting that to happen. Like this time, if it happens, it's still okay because we are in crypto right now. But just because it goes about, I need to mention this specifically, like just because we get about 200-day moving average, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to go to 100K. I don't think they're going to make it that easier. They might either Bitcoin will stay somewhere near 55 to 60,000, right? And then we might see it probably come back down to retest before it goes a lot higher, or they will push it back up above like 69,000, similar to what they done over here, right? They just push the price above 5K, and then everybody got in, like this is a massive bull trap, and then we've seen like 50% correction from there. So either they might do that, but regardless, I just want to see Bitcoin above 50K, and then we can discuss like what will happen, what might happen after that. So 45K is the key level to break, and right now, even if you look at the RSI, this is the daily RSI. It's kind of like somewhere near 60, so it's not like in overbought territory, not even like oversold territory, but closer to like overbought conditions, but not that much. So and how do we know Bitcoin has peaked? Just by, we can get some kind of idea by looking at the RSI, daily RSI. So we don't need to make things complicated. Look at over here, right? RSI got up to 78 over here, and then maybe 7 days after that. So this is like 22nd of October. 22nd of October, RSI peaked, and then 8th of November. So 30 days, 1 month after we've seen like RSI peaked, 1 month after we've seen like a top for Bitcoin, right? So this is a really good, I mean, we don't need to make things complicated. We can use this one always. And same over here, right? If you look at 60,000 over here, 57,000. It made like a higher high, I mean, like a peak, which is like 90, somewhere near 40, 41. Yeah, this one, yes, we had a bit of a correction, and RSI kept on going down, but the price kept on going a lot higher. So this is like indicator, like if you see somewhere over here and then RSI drop down. So whenever we see RSI somewhere like near overbought levels, we can take profit, like taking profit over here. That's why DCSL, that's why we DCSL, like if you sell everything at 40K, then you're going to miss out a lot of gains over here, right? Which maybe take like 10-20%, and then it may drop and went back higher, and then we could have like taken profit, like every time we've seen this RSI went above like 70. So same thing whenever we see. So now we are not somewhere near overbought territory. I would like to see this one come down a bit. I just don't want to go a lot higher, because then means this bull trend could be over, right? I just want it to cool down a bit, like for a few days, come back down to maybe like 47, 50 level or so, then trying to go back higher, right? And then we probably can take profits out. So let's look at all coins. Most of the all coins are down, like and then few days, I mean, on the day when they declared war, all coins dropped as well, and I got into a lot of bull tokens, because like that's where the most we can make most money. Even all coins are really cheap. So if you go back up here, yeah, XRP down, Cardano, these was like major all coins. SLP, I bought back SLP somewhere near 170, 180 area, and I'm will, like if Bitcoin goes higher, and then if all coins bleed, if SLP bleeds against BTC, I'm gonna keep, I will add some more SLP as well. Let's not forget, this is still like 95% down from its all-time highs. And if we're expecting to see a crazy altcoin season, these coins could go 5x, 10x, likewise. QNT is another coin, like when it pumps, it'll be quick, right? This one hasn't got much coin supply, less coin supply. It's about like max coin supply is about like 14 million, and circulating coin supply is about like 12 million. So if someone wants to buy QNT in a hurry, there won't be much coin sitting on exchange. So this could pump a lot higher as well, even though it's expensive. $1,000, like $5,000, $7,000 for per coin. I wouldn't be surprised, like if we see like a massive all season. And coins like TEL, they're really oversold, like I going down so much. Yeah, Metaverse, let's not forget, Block, really cheap at the moment. It's down to like 2 cents or so. These coins will pump a lot higher, given that they are Metaverse. Raka is the same. Shiba Inu, yeah, if we want, we can add some Shiba Inu as well to our portfolio. This is a really good project, while USDT I discussed earlier, and it's cheap right now. Yeah, so likewise. And then so most of the old coins, do not forget to add Metaverse tokens, because they are important, like they'll pump a lot higher. I do hold a little bit of HBAR. HBAR is a good coin as well. Like this could be a really good project, like for like $1 for HBAR, I wouldn't be surprised. And ADA, yeah, like these coins already matured, right? For example, Cardano, like I mean, we cannot expect like 10x from Cardano unless it's like a massive bull market, right? We are expecting like short-term bull trend. During these short-term bull trends, we might not be able to get 10x from this coin. That's why we have a diversified portfolio, right? Simply we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then large cap, mid cap, small cap, and micro cap. So we're not going to miss out, right? So that's the plan. And also there's another Metaverse token recently I found out. It's called Mars S4. Now this is on KuCoin. Recently they added this on KuCoin, and if you already have a Bittrex account, you can buy it on Bittrex as well. This is a Metaverse token as well. They have their own YouTube channel as well. So there's not much price action here, I guess, because it's this one. Yeah, this one is on Bittrex. So on Bittrex, we have enough price action, no problem. But let me just, yeah, so as you can see, it dropped a lot, right? So it dropped back down. So see, it's just dropped, and then on this week I was waiting, and then because the RSI went so high, and I was waiting, and on this it dropped, and then on this week I actually add some to my portfolio, little by little. And then there's like a massive candle, sell candle, and our RSI dropped after that. Even if you look at the 4-hour, yeah, so RSI pumped so high, and then it dropped back down to like 30, and around this area I added some, and you can see there's a massive sales candle, and that was a great opportunity actually. Now it's kind of consolidating, could go a lot higher. We have to wait and see. And this is like again a Metaverse token, right? So I mean, if you have like maybe 30% allocated on a portfolio for Metaverse NFTs, that should be enough. 30%, that should be okay, right? I mean, there are so many coins. I'm not expected to buy all of these coins. If I have some, like because it doesn't really matter, right? We don't need to actually have like all the Metaverse in the world, because when Metaverse tokens pump, it's like a certain section. Most of these coins will pump, like 99% will pump, regardless whether it's a good project or not. So that's that. Yeah, and then bull tokens have recovered so much. So always sort of DCSL, I've noticed like sometimes we think that this is the top, or don't guess like, this is what's going to happen, because no one knows, right? So that's why always DCA. For example, like, recently, if you look at it, like everyone was expecting 100K Bitcoin December, did not happen. So and it's kind of like, for me, when we look at the Bitcoin price, right, this is how I, on the day when Bitcoin dropped, like when the war broke out, right here, I added some Bitcoin and altcoin, because altcoins got lot bled like lot harder than Bitcoin. I had some old bull tokens where I was really cheap on that day. I've seen some old bull tokens are down like 70, 60, 55%. So I thought there's a great opportunity. Before I went to bed, I think I woke up around like 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. or something. I had some of them because they were down so much, and I thought it's a great opportunity. And the next day, they pumped like so much. So this is how like I actually had a feeling, like, I mean, in the group I mentioned, right, it's a good opportunity DCA, like, because even during when the war break out, I knew it's not going to last long. Like on the day, see, look at the Bitcoin price right now. If someone says Bitcoin price went down because of the war is still going, but look at the price has recovered, right? So it's just buy the rumor, sell the fact all the time, right? They just put something out there and scare the s out of people, right? And then people just sell, and then they buy, and then next thing we know, it reverse and pumps a lot higher. So this is what they've been doing. So we've seen this so many times, like, it's easy, like we can kind of guess, right? And then you can get it right even if you guess it, because this is what they've been doing. Like news is always like fundamentals. If you look at the fundamentals, they'll fool you, right? They'll fool you big time, right? So that's why we look at the chart. So let me tell you how I had a bit of an idea, right? Because this could be the capitulation. Like, I mean, we are still waiting to confirm that's the capitulation, but I believe so. Because look at this, it's pretty obvious, right? Bitcoin hit 69,000 and it kept on going down. It's a massive downtrend, and we dropped from 69 to about 36, like we dropped 50%, right? So we dropped 50%, and then we've seen like a bigger doji candle here, dragonfly doji, like, it's like a trend reversal candle that happens, like, at the bottom. And then we've seen this small rally right here. So all this time we kept on dropping. So we thought, okay, maybe this is the end. It'll get supported by 200-day moving average, it'll go higher. Went higher, came back down, went even lower, and then it kept on happening. Kept so many times. How many downtrends we have? 1, 2, 3, and then went up 4, 5, 6. So we had so many downtrends, right? Like massive red candles towards downside. And then people probably here, maybe like most of the experienced people, like who's been in the market for some time, probably thought, okay, maybe this is a good opportunity. We might go a lot higher. And then during this downtrend, 70 people, probably 70 to 80% people, 70% retail sellers, buyers, they are totally gone. They are out of the market. They just had enough, right? And then some were hanging there, but they were not too sure what will happen. They were like, okay, let's give it a try for the last time. And then we had this pump, right? And then the people who left Bitcoin, they did not come back, but probably another 20% were like, holding on to this. And when it got up higher, they probably got excited, and then we see another dump, right? And normally when we see that, like especially after a massive downtrend, it kind of like, we can get a bit of an idea, like maybe this could be the capitulation, right? I mean, we yet to confirm, but I believe this is the capitulation, because that 20% probably lost another 10% from here, right? And then people who got excited, like there was 20% probably sitting here. I'm using these numbers like to explain. 20% were probably holding here, and then when he went up here and went back down, that probably another 15% probably gone out of that as well, like retail buyers. And there were only like, very few people buying at these levels, right? So that's how we kind of like get an idea, maybe this is the capitulation. And imagine on that day, like, look at the share markets, they went down so much, like there's so much volatility, so much bad news. And I've never seen bull tokens, like, some of the altcoins like down by 50% in a short period of time, right? Only for a day, or like maybe like for maybe 6-7 hours, like 12 hours. As soon as that we've seen this week, there was like a really good opportunity, like, for it. I mean, um, I believe, like, I got back in, like, I bought enough at that time. I wish I bought more, like, that's the reason, like, that's the always the case. But this is kind of like obvious, right? Massive downtrend, push it back higher to just to make the 20% who was still there to excite them, and back down again, and then probably 15% of that retail buyers are gone as well. So we probably had maybe like a 1 to 5% like still buying here, like, who really believes in Bitcoin, or had bit of experience, like, probably they've seen this before. And that's how I kind of like had an idea. But let's see. Nothing, I mean, I'm not saying this is the capitalism. Maybe I could be wrong. It could come back down and could go back down to 29. That could happen as well. But given that we have like a massive green candle, I have a feeling like, it will consolidate for here for some time, and then it'll break about 200-day moving average. And that's exactly what we want to see, because we hold a lot of altcoins, and then altcoins could go a lot crazier. Right, we'll see like massive altcoins pumps, like 10x, 20x, 50x, even 100x. So that's why diversified portfolio is very important, right? If we see for the downside, if you have Bitcoin, you're kind of safe, right? Your portfolio not going to go down so much. But in case if you are really unlucky, Bitcoin comes back down and drop below, break this low and drop below, all coins will get hammered, right? Probably go down by like maybe 60, 70, 80% or so. So that's why we always trying to have 50% Bitcoin in our portfolio, 30% in Ethereum, and maybe other 30% in altcoins, right? Yeah, so that's all from my end. And Ripple, there are rumors like, I think they said they gonna ban like SWIFT payment system for Russia. So there's a rumor that they said, I heard like they're gonna use Ripple, like just to bypass that. Yeah, there are a few good news coming for Ripple as well. Like if we see like a massive altcoin season, Ripple could go to like, $4-5. Like, if you're really lucky, maybe $7-8 or so. That could happen as well. And given that Bitcoin could not shine during the last bull market because of the lawsuit, maybe this time XRP might pump a lot higher. So it's not a bad idea to have like a bit of XRP as well. I got some XRP, and I also have some XRP bull as well. If XRP goes higher, if you have XRP bull, it'll be perfect, right? And let's not forget, this is not financial advice. Bull tokens, bear tokens are very risky, right? I'm not recommending any of them. I'm just telling you what I do. I'm not asking anyone to do buy or sell or hold Bitcoin just because I say so. These bull tokens, you got to be very careful, right? When it pumps, yes, it'll pump like, when Bitcoin pumps 5%, Bitcoin bull could pump like, maybe 30, like, 20, 35, 30% or so. But when Bitcoin drops 10%, you're looking at 30 to 40% drop of these bull tokens, right? So you got to be careful. If it goes the other way, you cannot panic and sell. Either you can accumulate more. That's what I did. Like when Bitcoin kept on going down, I add more Bitcoin bull, like BTC bull, because you can quickly, like, easily recover. It's kind of like an old coin, right? It acts like an old coin because it gives you a lot of magnified returns. Yeah, so be careful with these bull tokens and bear tokens. And the plan is, if everything goes well, like if Bitcoin goes like 55 to 60,000 or so, even above like 70,000, then we can add on the way out, like when we take profit out, on the way out, we can buy some bear tokens, right? So even when the market goes down, we can still make money. Otherwise, normally in the bear market, we got nothing else to do, right? I mean, we can short the market, but there's like a lot of risks. Like, it's not easy. They have to have a stop loss. Like, if Bitcoin goes a lot higher, if you don't have a stop loss, then you tend to lose money. But I would like to play with these bull and bear tokens. They are pretty good. So bear tokens, we supposed to, let's say, I wish I bought more bear tokens somewhere over here, right? And somewhere over here, maybe somewhere over here, because bear tokens tend to pump along the way, like when Bitcoin drop. And now it's the complete opposite. The bull tokens are pumping when Bitcoin pumps out higher. On the way out, I'm gonna DCA. When I take profit, I just DCA little by little for like these bear tokens, because This is very important because during a bear market, we just sit there and do nothing because we can't do anything. But if you buy bear tokens and the market goes down, your bear token tends to go up, and you can use that to buy cheaper Bitcoin. So that's what I'm trying to do. If Bitcoin goes above, when Bitcoin goes above 50,000 and even towards 55 to 60K, or if you are really lucky to like 22 to 75,000 or so. Okay, so that's all from my end, I think. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. Do you guys have any questions, or do you want to add something?
I was going to add, like, how there was one scenario I saw on one of the guys was talking about. He's saying we could do an ABC at the bottom, so it goes up to 618.
Yeah.
Comes back down, and then does the final C leg. So in the C leg, that's when maybe we'll have the alt season.
So you mean like it goes
like,
about
so from so from the bottom,
yeah,
you go up to the 618. That's the
618,
A leg.
like 55K or so, yeah.
Yeah, and then come back down to the
back,
B leg. Yeah, to the B leg.
To retest a 200-day moving average, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or even a bit lower.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
and then a final C leg. That's sort of like Elliott theory.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like an ABC.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That could happen. Yeah, that could happen as well. Yeah, as long as it goes above 50,000 week, right? Then that'll be perfect for all coins. All coins will go crazy. And
yeah,
hopefully it'll happen. I mean, things are looking good. Like, it's a lot better than 2-3 weeks ago, because during this bear trend, we were not too sure. Even this pump right here wasn't it wasn't promising like what we're seeing right now. But this green candle is massive, man. So, I mean, that means there's a lot of buyers, people just bought the dip like crazy. So that's a good thing. It could be Russians or whoever. We don't care, right? As long as they'll buy this good. And then even this Dragonfly Doji, right? Something similar to what we see here. This one is a Dragonfly Doji. This one, and then we have a similar, exactly similar candle right here. These are very bullish candles. And then this one is a confirmation, right? Yes, you're gonna break out. So yeah, look, things are looking good. I mean, I'm not gonna even worry about 200 weekly moving average, so we might not go there because things are looking bullish. I'm pushing towards I'm leaning towards the bullish side at the moment because I have to, right? It's on the chart. Okay then, guys, that's all from my end, and Vic, thank you for your contribution. So I appreciate your participation. I'll speak to you guys next Wednesday, and on Sundays. This Sunday I couldn't do it. On Sundays I'm planning to do a video and then upload it to my YouTube and then share it on the group. You can watch that as well, because 1 week is a long time for Bitcoin. I mean, a lot of things can happen. So even 2 days a week should be enough. That's what I believe. Okay, guys, thanks for your time. I'll talk to you next Wednesday. All the best. See you. Bye.